Wait a second. Right, might just quickly refresh it. Oh, there we go. Okay, never mind, we're live. Hello, people. It's your boy Usmaan, back again with another video. As always, I don't know what's happening with me at the moment, but I'm getting loads of technical difficulties, but it is what it is, isn't it? Manchester United against Leicester, last game of the season, King Power Stadium. Oh my God, nervous time, squeaky bum time, as all the pundits are saying. Boys, how are we feeling?
Nervous, man. It's going to be feels like a cup final, to be honest with you. Everything rides on this last game. You know, everything we've been playing up for since we sort of came back from sort of COVID. It's just everything depends on this game. What we do in summer, who we can attract. Massive game.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think in terms of looking to the future, this game will definitely have massive ramifications if you don't get the result we want. Daniel, what you thinking coming into this game? How are you feeling?
Ever since the West Ham game, I've just kept quiet. God, I was fuming after, but then after Chelsea, Liverpool, I just looked at the table and thought, how are we third? I should be buzzing, but it feels like we've just robbed a bank here.
Oh my God, honest to God, that's the exact
Completely.
sentiment I had after that game,
Completely,
man.
man.
Even when Liverpool won, obviously, I can't believe I'm going to say these words. So I do apologize. Don't clip this, by the way. I was happy Liverpool won. Before Swans.
Oh, completely.
Yeah, no, but you know what people like on social media, they'll clip this and they send it. Oh, this guy's putting Liverpool, bro. But yeah, so I was happy Liverpool won, obviously, but it felt like I just felt so dirty being sat in there without any merit. Also, just want to say, make sure you drop a like, subscribe if you are new. We're getting close to 400, so I would appreciate it. And also, the boys' links to their Twitter and Instagram is in the description. So show them love, as I always say. We've got to sit together with Man United fans, especially in these times. Hopefully, we're all buzzing. This time come tomorrow, really, I guess. But yeah, let's talk about the game itself. Like you said, Daniel, we'll come to you first. The last couple of games not filled us with much confidence. In terms of how you think the mental is of the players, how do you think they're going to be going into this?
I don't know, because before it's like with United in recent years, like we're never good at like capitalizing on other teams' mistakes. Whereas in this position, it's us that's in the ascendancy. So
Yeah.
I really don't know. The only bit of confidence I have in this team right now is our attack, just because I always feel we can score a goal. But defensively in recent games, I don't know if it's to do with fatigue, but we just look shaky at the moment. Like every team just feels confident to get at us, whereas
Yeah.
just before this little dodgy spell we had, I didn't feel teams wanted to get at us. So I don't know, man. I'm nervous for this game, man.
I think, to be fair, I think every Man United fan would probably agree with what you just said there, because I think it's very difficult to predetermine in terms of how we are going to be in this game, because the last couple of games, especially the West Ham game, going into that one, like we said prior to coming on live, I was not quite I wouldn't say user confident, but I thought we'd at least perform, but we were well off the pace again. Ali, just coming to you, you kind of referred to it being a cup final, and Daniel's already mentioned the fact that every single time we've had an opportunity to overtake someone, we've bottled it. Let's be real in it. Obviously, as much as I love Ollie and the players, etc., but mentally, it just seems like they just can't hack the pressure, can they?
That's the concern, is the fact that mentally you're coming, you know the rivals' results, you know that this is your chance to capitalize on that, and you don't go and do that. But that's the thing, that we've still got leaders in the dressing room. You feel the likes of Pogba, Maguire should get the guys sort of motivated, say, "Come on, guys, we can actually do this," etc. But then when you turn up on the pitch, they all just seem so leggy. The fatigue factor compared to other teams seems so much more considerable to ours. And you got sort of, if you look back at the sort of West Ham game, how deep you had Matic and Pogba, and you had a massive gap in midfield, and we turned West Ham into prime Barcelona. They were so comfortable around us. There was no press. There was no play. It was so frustrating. But you could tell it was just lag. It was just complete lag in the legs, and it comes down to the fact where you see Ollie doesn't trust the bench, and that's the thing, where if he felt as though he could give someone else a run and freshen legs up just somewhere, he tried to do that with Fosu Mensah, and it failed horribly. He had probably one of the worst first halves I've seen of any player. So, like I said as before, it's your cup final. If this doesn't motivate you, if this doesn't get you up and running, and knowing that, look, we've only got 90 minutes to actually save our season, 50 is irrelevant. So you've got 90 minutes to play out your skins, give everything you've got, because I don't want to come full time and all these Instagram posts from from our captain and you guys saying, "Oh, we'll go again." And
Yeah.
we know how much. I don't want to see. I'm done with that. I've had years of all this. I don't want to see no Instagram posts and Twitter posts no more. Nah, we want to see you guys saying that we did it for you guys. We pressed as hard as we could. Fourth is not a trophy, but it's something.
Yeah, no, as I completely agree, and as Daniel obviously said that it gives us opportunity to go again next season, obviously in terms of who we're gonna sign. We just got a comment here as well, basically echoing what you've said. Really, I just hope they know the importance of the game and give their all. As we have the quality to destroy them, and I think that's a really important point. You know, we all sat here saying that we're not confident going into the game, but you know, if you look at it from an outside perspective, we should really win this game with them. Of course, we'll touch upon the players they got missing, but just in terms of our quality going forward as well, it's frightening, really. There's a lot of Rivals fans that I've spoken to. A lot of them are scared of us, which surprises me because I don't see us in that way. But a lot of them are like, "No, might not looking like threatening going forward." But Daniel, in terms of our play in the last couple of games, I just wanted to talk about that. We've been poor, and let's be real, and there's been so many different factors in terms of, obviously some people are pointing on fatigue, some people putting down to tactics, some people are putting down to players not taking responsibility in terms they can't handle the pressure. Where do you put that sort of blame? Or do you think it's a mix of everything? Can you hear us, Daniel? Ali, we'll just come to you for a second. So in terms of the current situation, obviously, like I mentioned, fatigue, etc. Where do you think the blame lies, or do you think it's just a mixture of everything?
It's a mixture of everything. We've had a lot of games back to back. He doesn't trust the squad, and it's difficult. You're asking the same 11 to go again every single 3 or 4 days, really. And like I said, he tried to make a couple of changes, and it hasn't worked out, unfortunately. So I reckon we'll go with the same team again. I reckon we'll go with Wan-Bissaka back in terms of Fosu-Mensah. Sure, he's got to just get in one last game. If he's 60-70% fit, he's got to get himself back in for that game, ideally. Like I said, that extra 1 day rest that we've had compared to 2 games that 2 days we've been having. Like I said, it's just if this doesn't motivate you as an individual to know that there's bigger, better things coming next season, nothing will. So hopefully, like I said, I can't see him changing the team. If there was one change, I'd probably give Fred a go instead of Matic, because last game Matic had the ball so much against West Ham and it didn't go anywhere. And you just think against Leicester, who've had that week's rest, they're going to be up for it. You're going to have Vardy pressing, you'll have all their players up and running for this game. And I just think Matic against sort of dynamic attackers will probably struggle and might get caught out and then expose Lindelof and Maguire and maybe Williams if he's playing at the back. So the only freshen up I would do is probably put Fred in or even McTominay, because I think we do need those legs come Sunday.
That's an interesting point, because obviously you first and foremost you mentioned regarding Ali rotating the team, and then he's not trusting them because it's quite evident when they've played they've not really performed to the level that they've done prior to lockdown. I think I hear what you're saying, but I think only because it's one last game, right? This is for me personally, because it's one game, and like you mentioned earlier, if they can't get over this game, for me personally, the players should be going into this, and not one of them should be knackered coming off the pitch. Completely. They should leave every single thing on the pitch. I'm a really competitive person, and I know my siblings will probably watch this, so they'll vouch for that. I honestly, God, if we're playing 5-a-side in the park with my mates with really bags down, I'm gonna win that game. I'm telling you now.
Completely, man.
I'll do anything. These players, surely you'd think that just the adrenaline of the occasion as well. I know it's not a massive thing. We're not going for the league or anything. But in terms of what it'll mean for the club and the fans, just to get back in the Champions League and potentially gives an opportunity to trap more players, they've got to be willing to give everything and put every single last bit on the pitch. So for that reason, I would actually keep Matic in just because of his experience. But I hear what you're saying with McTominay and Fred. Fred, for me personally, I do really like him, but I just don't know where he's been after lockdown. It feels like he's still in lockdown. I don't know what's happened to him.
He's locked away completely.
Daniel, what do you reckon? Obviously, we've been playing, let's be real, and we've got a couple of decent results, but we've been playing shocking, even against Crystal Palace. We didn't really deserve to win that game either. What do you put it down to? Do you think it's fatigue, or do you think there's other things surrounding it?
I think it's fatigue, because like when we came back straight away, we were scoring goals for fun. Our strikers, even still now, are scoring goals for fun. There was a confidence in the team. We was even keeping some clean sheets. We all banter about how bad been, how bad De Gea has been, but at one point I saw that they were like 3 clean sheets off the Golden Glove or something like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it's down to fatigue, just because. But then I don't know, man. It's weird because how can we go from playing at such a high level, pretty confident, to just battering every team every week to this? I have to put it down to fatigue, because it can't be a form thing, because
But it's
we were
quality as well.
18 games unbeaten before we lost in the FA Cup. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's my scare.
I definitely put it down to fatigue, because it can't be form. It definitely can't be form.
I do think this. I actually put it down to the mental state of the team, to be honest, because we've been in situations, like for example, let's just be real. We've been 19 unbeaten, and I know obviously Chelsea game. Okay, I don't really care about the FA Cup that much, but coming to the West Ham game, if we weren't in a position to overtake Chelsea, I genuinely think we would have beaten them. Because I just think the players, again, I don't want to pick out individual players because I'm not about that, but Rashford, for example, I think he kind of embodies what I'm trying to say. If that's Rashford, right, but when he's on form with Martial, etc., and it seemed like he was on form going into this game, he'd be skinning his fullback every single minute, and for some reason he looked scared to take him on. And he wasn't the only player. There was a lot of players that were scared to take risks. And I think that's where it comes down to the mental side of it. I hear what you're saying regarding fatigue, but I just think because we've got such a young team as well, and an inexperienced manager, and so many inexperienced players in there, the sort of more experienced heads, they're not really showing great leadership skills to actually carry the team through. And like the Southampton game as well, you've got to hold on in it. Do you know what I mean? That's just coming
a
down to
heartbreaker.
pressure, innit? We just bottled it again, really, innit? But let's just get some comments in here, and then obviously we'll go on to Leicester. There's a few agreeing with me, there's a few agreeing with Ali, so there's a bit of a variety, which is good. Tamil said we need experienced Matic over Fred all day, which is what I said. However, my brother was saying, I've got to put the wrong comment up. My brother was saying, depending on which Matic turns up, and I'm happy with Fred instead of Matic. He actually agrees with you, Ali. He thinks exactly the same as what you said in terms of Matic slowing down the game, holding onto the ball. Yeah, holding onto the ball too much. So I do hear that side of the story. But let's talk about Leicester briefly. I saw something on Twitter, I believe. It might have been on Sky Sports as well prior to the show. They've got 6 players missing, I believe. Including all of not all of the back, for bar Johnny Evans, the entire back line. So obviously there's no fullbacks really at all. I think Fuchs is missing as well, who was playing the last game. So he's now missing. Justin's missing. Pereira's missing. In fact, Justin would be playing. So so Yunchu's missing. So Madison not there. Chilwell not there. Honest to God, it just seems like they're on bare bones. I can't even imagine us without our back four. We've only missing Shaw, and I'm still shitting it with our defense towards the tackles. So let alone only having like Lindelof, for example, and the rest missing, it would be an absolute nightmare. So, Daniel, how are you feeling in terms of Leicester as a threat to us? Because let's be real, they've got so many issues themselves. They're playing good football. We're talking about ourselves not confident, but they're a team that was 15 points ahead of us. And, a lot of Bar Vardy, who scored a couple of goals here and there. I know Ayoze Perez scored against Sheffield United, but, they've really lacking, threat in terms of or confidence in front of the goal themselves. So what do you reckon? Do you think they'll be able to cause us problems, or do you think we're just overthinking it?
I don't know, man. It's just like everything is for United to win this game. Leicester's best players, most influential players like Maddison, Pereira, Chilwell are injured. I don't know, man. Like it's like what you said earlier. Maybe it's a mental thing, but then I always worry about Leicester just because of their threat on the break. Like Vardy's strengths. He wants to run in behind, and our defense with Maguire and Lindelof, that is literally Vardy's probably rubbing his hands. Like,
yeah,
I'll be real out here. Like, he's probably rubbing his hands, thinking, yes, 2 slow backs. I can probably get good joy out of him. I played with Maguire. He's not the quickest on the turn. If we get the ball and play it in behind, I see Damari Gray scored recently. Harvey Barnes has had a good season. So they've paid for thanks and paced down the middle. So, but just because Maddison's not, Tillerman's is still a good player.
Yeah.
Brendan Rodgers, I rate him as a manager and what he's done there. Tactically, set them up well. So I'm not going to sit here and go, it's a given, but everything is just written for us to win. But I don't know, with this mental block of trying knowing that what this game, I'm worried, man. And like I said, it's like Vardy, like even with all their injuries, like Sancho at the back as well, I can't sit here and say confidently, yeah, easy victory because United
Yeah,
never
yeah.
do things
I don't
easy.
think
Yeah, for
anything's
sure,
ever
man.
easy with us, especially in the last couple of weeks. I'm pronouncing his name wrong, aren't I? Is it Timor?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that right?
fine. Yeah,
Oh, is
that's
that
right.
right?
Yeah.
I thought I pronounced it wrong. Yeah, he's saying, obviously, regarding the magic thing, not just him holding onto the ball, which I agree with. Leicester's game is all about pressing, which is what I was going to come on to. I've got a feeling that they're going to copy what Southampton did and press is very high. I've watched, obviously, a lot of Leicester's game because, obviously, I want them to drop points and stuff. So I've watched a lot of their 90 minutes. One thing I do credit them for is their ability, their front three to press high. Like,
Yep.
every single game I've seen of theirs, Barnes, right? Okay, a lot of people might say he's not technically good, but he reminds me of Lingard in terms of his work rate.
Yeah.
The guy is everywhere, and he's fully presses very quickly. As we know, Vardy's got a lot of energy as well. Even Ayoze Perez, he's been pressing very well, and their midfield's got a lot of energy as well. Ali, do you think that's a bit of a worry? Because if they do press us, you've seen how we capitulate against Southampton, and also against Chelsea. We can't handle it, can we? Really?
I think that's the concern. And obviously, going back to the fatigue factor, they've had 6 days rest, and they know as much as us. This is a cup final for them as well, so they're going to be buzzing. Their front three are going to be right out. Tielemans is going to be right up there, and then we talk about them not having their preferred back four. But then we had we had Rashford against Kyle Walker-Peters, who he skinned a few times, but after sort of the second half, Rashford didn't get even a chance of sniffing there. And then you had
Yeah.
Johnson for West Ham, his right back. Rashford didn't even get a sniff on there again, so they might not have Pereira, but then there's no guarantee that Rashford will even have a good game on top of it. So it's definitely it's a tough one. Like I said, they're going to press us, and like I said, you need that energy, and Harry Maguire isn't the most flexible and quickest. Nemanja Matic isn't the quickest there as well. So you're banking on Aaron Wan-Bissaka having a great game. If we can cut at least one threat out in terms of Barnes, sort of get him out of the game, and then try and manage Vardy and Perez in the middle and on the sort of right hand side. If you can try and nullify them and, like I said, get the ball to Bruno, get the ball to Mason and Martial and Rashford, and like I said, just do whatever you can in this one game. Just put all your legs out and just try and get it done. But Leicester are going to be a massive threat, irrelevant of them not having their key players. There'll be players there who want to be there next season, so they'll want to put a game in front of Man United as well. So it's definitely going to be a tough game, man. Definitely be a tough game.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with what you just said there. Just coming back to what you said, Daniel, regarding Vardy, and I'll ask you this both. I think this is kind of an interesting point because one thing that I've contributed to our success past so post lockdown in terms of footballing is when we've squeezed out the teams, we've pulled the fullback very high up the pitch. We've kind of left Maguire and Lindelof on halfway line. And we've had sustained attacks in some games, obviously not many. Sheffield United and Bournemouth been 2 games that we were fantastic in. You mentioned Vardy, and I think we all know about Vardy's ability to run in behind. That guy, from what I've seen, Leicester, all they do is get the ball and hit it in behind and hope Vardy gets an
That's
end of
it.
it. And I'm not to downgrade or discredit them because they've been fantastic this season, but I've seen that a lot. So I'm just thinking, do we play a high line like we normally do, or do you think we're going to sit very deep, Daniel, or? Because then we're going to be allowing the midfield to dictate the game out if we're too deep. Dan, you can hear us. Oh, I think he's might have disconnected.
I don't know,
Oh,
man.
no, yeah. Yeah, Dan, you can hear us.
No, I don't know, man, because even it's a bit shitty.
Daniel, just what to do?
Hold on, let me try jump out and jump back in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
We've got. Ali, we'll come to you. Obviously, like I
Yeah.
was saying, regarding the high line, because if we play too, obviously, if we play too deep, if the line's too deep, then they'll have a lot of space in midfield, which, as we've seen, when we're playing 4-2-3-1, the midfield gets overrun. Then the only time I've not seen the midfield get overrun is when the defense are more ambitious and they step further up. So it's kind of like, which one do you go for? Because we kind of setting ourselves up to get hit. Well, get the ball in behind, so to speak. What do you reckon? What would you do?
It's tough because, like I said, I don't think we've faced a striker of Vardy's pace in the last sort of 10, 12 games. So it's something new. It's something dangerous. So playing a high line, like I said, if they're gonna go and hoof it over the top, like I said, you need that pace there. You need Maguire or Lindelof or Aaron Wan-Bissaka to actually go back and actually cover it. Whereas I feel if you actually squeeze them, we'll probably play a triangle where you've got Matic sort of in front of Maguire and Lindelof, tighten it up in that midfield. That gives us that balance in regards to having Fernandes up there to try and fight in that midfield and let those three do. Because it's tough for Rashford and Greenwood to actually track back.
Yeah.
So I don't think playing a high line we could actually get just hit over the top. But I think if we squeeze them in the middle, try and get them off the ball, we've got the quality. Bruno, Pogba, those little key passes into spaces. I think that's going to be key. And like I said, you need the front three all in their game. But Vardy's going to be a different threat. We haven't faced anything like that in the last few games, and his pace and power is going to be a massive concern.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous thinking about how we're going to approach this situation with Vardy, because if I'm Brendan Rodgers, I'm going to say to him, look, all I want you to do the entire game, Vardy, is running behind Maguire. Don't worry about Lindelof. Okay, Lindelof, he can be shaky here and there, but on the ground, he's fairly consistent in terms of his ability to read the game. He doesn't really tend to get beat that much for pace. So if I'm Brendan Rodgers, look, lads, find Vardy in behind Maguire. We're going to try to abuse that. We don't know if Luke Shaw's going to be playing. If he is, he does kind of tend to get further up the pitch. So obviously, he can definitely get in behind both of them, really, to be fair, depending on the situation. We just got a couple of comments here to kind of agree with what you said, Ali. Let's have a look. So load it up. It's a cup final. Leicester will play strategically through the quarters. Hopefully, Wolves get the win at Chelsea and we're spared. Just regarding that, first and foremost, I don't even care about the Wolves and Chelsea. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We're in third.
Yeah, get our job done.
Who gives it? Like, with all due respect, who cares what happens with Wolves? Obviously, it would be nice if Wolves won, just so I can laugh at my mates, our Chelsea fans. But beside that, the players shouldn't even be thinking about that game, because we don't deserve to get top four. We get it because Chelsea have lost, and then we lose as well. Like, okay, granted, we've got it, and I'll take it. But come on, man, that's just. It's embarrassing.
You can't count on Wolves. This is our 90 minutes.
Exactly, man. And we shouldn't have to count on Wolves because Giroud will probably score last minute, anyways. Daniel, let's come to our threats now. Obviously, we've spoken about Leicester, in particular, Vardy in behind. Not to disrespect them, but they've got a good midfield. Tielemans and Ndidi in particular. I think that Pratt's going to play as well. He's got a lot of energy as well, so he's a decent player. But let's talk about Manchester United. Let's talk about our bloody threats. Because we're going into the game with one of the best front threes in Europe at the moment in terms of statistics. And to be fair, when they actually get chances, they deliver. They don't get many, but when they do, they're clinical, man. How are you feeling, Danny, in terms of our threat and how we can hurt them? Because they got Wes Morgan at the back. With all due respect, man's getting on a bit, isn't he?
I was just about to allude to that. Yeah, I was just about to allude to that. Like, the fact that Sonchu's not there, I think he's probably their most strongest and most aggressive defender. Like, Morgan, I don't care what he's done for your club. He's slow, he's old. Our attack's mobile, it's quick, direct. If you can get the ball to these guys, that's the only problem. Can we get the ball to these guys quickly enough? I know Bruno has been our source of doing that, but in recent games, he hasn't been the Bruno we expect. So I'm hoping if Bruno plays the way we know he can play, then the likes of Martial, Rashford will get on the ball more often. I'd like to see Rashford just be a bit braver, because as the guy alluded to earlier, West Ham's right back, I looked at him thinking, who's this? It's not Fredericks is that fast, but it was some young kid. I was like, Rashford, attack this guy.
Yeah, completely.
He just didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping. I think their right back's Justin, Leicester's right back. So again, Rashford, just take him on, please. Martial, I'm not worried about. Martial, out of our front three since lockdown, has probably been the most consistent.
Yeah, completely agree.
You give this guy a chance, he's scoring a goal. And this is another thing I've noticed in his game as well. Everyone always before alluded to his work rate, his laziness, but I've even noticed in recent games his work off the ball and what he's doing in terms of that is even better, because if you look at little things like his role, Greenwood's goal against Villa, it's Martial in the build-up that bodies Mings off the ball to end up setting up Greenwood later. West Ham, no, not West Ham, Southampton. It's again Martial's holding off 2-3 defenders, lays off Rashford to make it 1-1 at the time. Our only moment of quality in the game against West Ham came from Martial just getting the ball, playing a quick 1-2 with Greenwood, creating another 1-2 and then another goal. So forget the goals. Martial's off the ball work and he's doing more off the ball. So for me, Martial, I'm not really worried about Greenwood. We all know what Greenwood is like. Just give the guy get the guy in position to shoot and he'll score. So
the guy scores.
Some games he's been sharp. Some games he's been quiet. Yeah,
he's
some games he's been sharp.
Man.
Some games he's been a bit quiet, but yeah, I'm hoping this is one of them games because it's Wes Morgan. If Greenwood can just do that little thing where he just manipulates the ball quickly and then gets a quick shot away, then I fancy our chances, man. Plus, like we said before, they haven't got their best back four. Chilwell, Vera, and Soyuncu, probably three of the most consistent defenders in the league in their defence, are out of the game. So, although I'm worried about what they could do to us, we're Man United, man. We shouldn't be worrying about what other teams can do to us. They should be worried about what we can do to them. So,
100%.
yeah, man, I'm confident in our attack, but the only thing is, can we get it to them quickly enough? Because against West Ham, it was frustrating to watch. The amount of sideways passes, the amount of times we would take 4 or 5 touches instead of taking for things that could have just took 1 or 2. That annoyed me. But if we can just get it to our front three, then we could have a field day, man.
Yeah.
I completely agree, especially regarding getting the ball to them quickly. Like, I think that has been, and I think Ali, obviously, you mentioned earlier when you were speaking about Matic, that's been the biggest problem for me. That's the reason why we've been, so poor. Like Maguire and Lindelof, I don't know why they're taking. Like, I've been getting on Maguire's back in terms of his ball distribution, because for some reason he thinks he's got like a Paul Scholes pass on him for every. Like, just pass the ball.
Midfielder. You're a defender, bruv.
Exactly. If you were that good on the ball, we'd do what Bayern did with Lahm and put you in CDM, bro. Sit your centre back. Pass the ball to Pogba. Let him hit those Dyers, because Pogba's percentage in long balls is probably like high 90s. Probably he's so consistent. But he doesn't get the ball. When Pogba gets the ball, I completely agree with you, Daniel. It's too slow. Like, Matic wants too many touches. Them guys need to play a 5-yard pass. Win the ball back, play a 5-yard pass to Pogba and Bruno, get it to them in the areas that they can hit the opposition before they settle. Wes Morgan's not, was never blessed with pace, and he's definitely not blessed with pace now, given, his latter stages of his career. Obviously, Daniel alluded to our front three, and as like I mentioned earlier, probably one of the best front threes in Europe in terms of on form. Currently, I don't think many can argue with that. We've got a few comments here, but quite a lot of people saying the same thing. Bruno needs to step up. Obviously, of course, he needs to get the ball quicker. But we've got a comment here from Space. It says Fernandes has been off form in recent games. Simply, as players need to stand up, and obviously be counted for, basically. And I completely agree with that. Ali, what do you reckon in terms of our threats? How can we hurt them going forward?
I think, you know what? I think if you're playing blocks, if you look at, say, the back four plus Matic, their job is to just maintain what's being pressed against them. And then you let Pogba dictate in the middle and let the front four, Mason, Martial, Rashford and Bruno, have their game. Playing those 2 blocks. So the back 5 know what they've got to do, and the front 4 know what they've got to do completely. And I think, and we saw glimpses against West Ham. Once the ball came into Pogba and it went into Martial, into Greenwood, you saw that quick interchange. They just couldn't handle it. As simple as that. Same for sort of Southampton. As soon as Bruno got the ball, gave it into Martial, and it was that speed of attack that sort of got us those things. So, like I said, going forward, if Bruno ticks and we say, Bruno, we'll look after things at the back. Don't waste your legs coming back towards us. We've got it under control. You just make sure you find that space, keep looking for that ball, because Mason, Martial, and Rashford, untouchable at the moment. I think if you give them a sniff, especially Martial at the moment, as Daniel said, right now, that guy's bang on form right now. And Mason, the guy's a baby Van Persie. You get him in front of goal, and that little drop of the shoulders coming, and he hits the ball. He hits the ball so clean. He hits the ball so clean, and I think, like I said, you give him a sniff, and as soon as the ball goes to his feet, something's going to happen over there. But like I said, playing those blocks, defensively, you guys do what you got to do, because there's a lot of times we had, like I said, we had Matic and Pogba so close together. It was square, and then you had Fernandes back as well. That's not it. Fernandes, you stay forward. You do what you do best. Matic, you do what you do best. Hold the ball, pass it out as quick as you can. And I think, like I said, like we've all said over here, up front, our front three are deadly. So you give them the right ball, they create the right space, but they've got to run off the ball as well. They can't stay static. A lot of times, even against West Ham, they were so
wanted
static.
To feed a lot. I don't know why.
Completely. And I think
running behind.
Exactly, make those runs behind, stretch the defenders. And I think if you stretch the defenders, you allow Bruno to make those runs in the middle. I think in the first half, Rashford went out wide and he pinged the ball over to Bruno, whose first touch was unlike him. It sort of went off. But if you pull the defenders out wide, if you make those runs, even though you're not going to get the ball, you're making a space for Pog, you're making a space for Bruno. And I think if you do that, you can open up these tight games.
Yeah, and I think that's important. Obviously, we've got to be more versatile in terms of our movement off the ball. We've spoken about the threat that they do have, but they do have to do more off the ball as well in terms of they've got to be a bit more intelligent, really. Because even like, I suppose Greenwood wants it into his feet. I don't mind him having him getting to feet because on the ball he's unbelievable. He can do anyone, even in tight spaces. Rashford, I want him to run in behind because he's so quick, and then like you said, it gives more space to. Exactly, it gives more space to Bruno to find those pockets as well. He did look scared, which surprised me because he actually had a fantastic game. Well, prior to Chelsea, he was actually him and Marcelo have been carrying us in terms of getting us over the line. But I just wanted to talk about the formation. I've got a lot of people in the comments again talking about the formation, what you will do, what you think they would do. We see Masori comment earlier saying regarding Leicester, do you think they'll play 3-4-3? Just to answer that quickly for you, mate. I don't think they should play 3-4-3. Because they haven't got enough fullbacks. They've got that many bloody injuries. Like, I don't know where they're going to draft all these fullbacks to play 3-4-3, so that'll be interesting. If I'll just start off, I think we should do 4-3-3. I think Ollie will do 4-2-3-1. I'll be surprised if he changes it. My issue with the West Ham game, and I think this is what cost us, was the fact that Pogba was sat in DM, basically. I don't understand why. We're playing at Old Trafford, we're playing against West Ham. Okay, granted, if you're playing against a good team, with all due respect to West Ham, or a team, that need the top of the table, then, okay, you can be a bit more cautious. But why are we scared of West Ham at home? I just think that's just... Completely. It was pathetic tactics from Oli. I've got to be honest. I would have liked to see Pogba venture forward, and the goal actually came from Pogba venturing forward and offering, sort of another avenue for. I know obviously Martial didn't use him, but it gave something for the defenders to think about. Let's talk about how we're going to set up. And for those of you that are watching, obviously drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and also let us know what formation you would play. Obviously, we'll put them on screen, and what your lineup will be. So just to give a base rather than you having to type it all out. So imagine Ollie's favourite 11, as we all know where it is, with Luke Shaw in there. If you would make any changes to that 11, because I think he'll probably go for that if it's available to him. Daniel, we'll come to you first. So what do you reckon regarding formation and your lineup?
De Gea in goal. I don't think now's the time. I don't think now's the time to even think of swapping your goalie, despite the form. Go with your best goalie. That's De Gea at the moment. Right back, he'll go with Wan-Bissaka. I was quite happy to see him get 45 minutes. I thought second half against West Ham he looked fresher. So maybe that 45 minutes could do him some good because he's pretty much played every single game this season. So, coming from Crystal Palace pretty much play one game a week, where he's come to United and had to play 2, even 3 times a week. So getting used to that, you could see him in later games. He was starting to tire. So I was happy. I was all right with him playing 45 against West Ham. So I think he'll be right back. Centre backs, we already know it's Maguire and Lindelof. Like that just seems to be the partnership he favours. If Luke Shaw's back, then okay, play Luke Shaw. But other than that, wow. If Luke Shaw's out, then I'm worried. I will be worried because
let's just say he's not fit. Yeah, I was about to say, let's just say he's not fit for whatever reason. Who are you playing then? Are you going for Fosu-Mensah or Williams? What do you reckon?
Oh my God.
Don't say Fosu, Daniel. Don't say Fosu-Mensah. I'm telling you right now.
I was going to say Brandon.
Yeah.
But my God, it's literally the best of a bad bunch. With Brandon, I think he will be more switched on more than Fosu, just because, like we said, Fosu hasn't played for 2-3 years. You can't get him to play back-to-back games just like that all of a sudden. But
Brandon Williams got ripped last game.
And then ended up doing a stupid tackle and got booked. Yeah. Whereas Brandon Williams, don't get me wrong, I still think attacking-wise he could do a bit more. Defensively-wise he could do a bit better. But one thing you can't doubt with Brandon is his effort, his enthusiasm.
Yeah, definitely.
He does put it about. He won't be scared. I think he'll be more switched on just because being from Manchester, I think he'll be more switched on knowing what's at stake here. So, but other than that, wow, what a downgrade. But we move from that.
Sorry, go on. What are you going for?
I'd say DM, he'll probably go with Matic, but with Matic, he needs to just know his position on the pitch, man. It's like you said earlier. I was watching the West Ham game, and it's like it's Pogba DM and Matic trying to play box to box.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about that.
What are you doing? Like, just get the ball, nick the ball back. Like Matic was doing that first few games after lockdown. Like he was doing that. He'd just nick it and just play it on. But in recent games, he started to think, I can do more than this now. No, you're not that guy. Just stay in DM.
Ali, there's a comment here for you, mate. If you can see it on your screen.
Akil can't give me one reason why we've got to play Fosu-Mensah. at left back. I mean, Dallo doesn't even get a game. Dallo can't even get a game. Full stop.
I'm not gonna lie, it does surprise me that I would have liked to see Dallo because like Greenwood. I was about to say, I completely forgot what I was gonna say about Greenwood. When he does a step over, it's game over for that defender because he ain't got a clue where he's going. So
Yeah.
Dallo's got a good step over in him as well. To be fair, I like it.
But then
I like
this
how
is
he
where.
gets forward.
But this is the thing. It could be the fact that if Shaw isn't ready and if he doesn't trust Williams after the last game, will he change it and go 5 at the back and just maybe chuck say Lindelof, Bailly, and Harry
no,
Maguire?
we haven't got Bailly. I think because if
he's not fit yet.
No, I think because he suffered a concussion. I'm not sure if he's allowed to play.
I do. It's fine because I think like you can't trust on it.
Ain't it like a 2-week thing?
Yeah, I thought I personally wouldn't go 5 at the back even by.
I would never touch. I would never touch Ben Williams. Is a risk.
Do you think
Williams is a risk? He was horrible. Literally,
he was horrible, and obviously set Mount up as well for that
He kept
goal.
slipping. He would kick in the air at times. That was probably one of his worst games. It was, and again, like I said, he's a Manchester boy, and he'll have probably an extra 10-15% in his heart to actually go for the game, but that could just be recklessness. And like I said, when you got Ayoji Perez running at you, he's rash challenging.
It's just best hope Shaw's fit, then, Ali, really, because there's not really any. It's not like he's blessed with left back. It's a shame he ain't got Dele Blind because he would have been perfect for this game, experienced and ability to pass out the back. Right, okay, so I'm assuming. So Daniel, you're going for Matic, obviously. I know. I'm assuming our back five is going to all be the same because we haven't got any other options, have we? Really. Ali, you were saying, are you going to go for Fred over Matic, or who are you going for?
No, I think it counts. I think experience, and like I said, he knows this is a massive game as well. So I reckon he'll go with the same team. So he'll have Fred. Sorry, Matic, Pogba, Bruno.
Yeah, so and then the standard 11.
Yeah, standard 11. You're saying, look, and I think this is where Ollie's managerial skills will come into full flow. And I think if you look at, we should look across the road. Jurgen Klopp, they play at such a high intensity, but they play for the manager. He knows exactly what to say to the boys to get them rolled up, to get them fired up. And I think Ollie now, the legs are going to be tired. Mentally, they know we've got to win the game. The heart is going to be there, but can he, as a manager, prove that he can actually motivate his players to take them to that extra 10-15% which you need? I don't think he's got it. I'm not an Ollie fan personally, but he needs to read. And him, McKenna, Carrick, Phelan, whoever it is, just come on, boys. This is
please come on, on, lads.
That's
somebody
literally
just pull your finger out and fucking do it. It's one more game. 90 minutes, boys.
Let's just go 2-0 up, 3-0 up, and then I can switch the game.
Listen, go
1-0
up and fucking sub Dan James on and counter attack him like you do on FIFA, man. Come on, let's go 99 pace, man.
That's my worry, though, man. That's my worry.
If they score first, mate, oh my god, them on the counter.
We'll panic. He'll panic.
That's why we have to change it. We don't really have anyone that can change it.
We have no one to change it. That's the problem. That's my worry, man. If they score first and it's a mistake, imagine it's a mistake. Obviously, I'm saying worst case scenario.
Don't say David again. Don't say the game mistake.
But I'm just saying,
don't
imagine
speak into existence.
Yeah, true. You know what I'm about to say. But imagine if we make a mistake. I'm not going to mention the two players' names that are effing up at the moment. But if we make a mistake and we go 1-0 down, God forbid, because that team might just crumble. Then I might have to be then I might have to be wishing Wolves do the favour then. But last thing to finish, and everyone who's watching, we've got 7 people watching live, so let us know your score predictions, basically. As you can tell, we're all quite nervous, regarding the game. But I completely agree with you, Ali, because this is what's... I think I did, not yesterday, but the day before, the podcast that I did, the title, The Last Dance, because I actually genuinely think that a lot
was really
of United...
good, by the way.
I appreciate that. I was about to say, I think a lot of United fans will turn on Ali. Like, I think, just say some people obviously looking at what happens in this game, but I think the fan base is going to be like, not me personally, but I think 75% of the fan base is going to say, no, I've had enough of this guy. Because, this is what comes down to. We just need a bloody draw, man. We just need a draw. It doesn't matter about third. We just need a draw to get through. But, lads, score predictions. Obviously, I'll put them on the screens. I'll ask the boys here. We've got one already. As the United way is saying, subscribe if you haven't already. We do appreciate, like I said, trying to get to 400. We've got Tamil. I'll pronounce his name wrong again. I do apologize, brother. 2-1. I know I'm butchering it. I don't know why I can't pronounce it. So he's gone 2-1. The United way have gone 2-0. Daniel, we'll come to you first. What do you reckon, mate? What do you reckon?
Don't say 0-0.
I think we'll win. I think it'll be 2-1. I think we'll go 2-0 up. we'll think, yes, we're actually going to get Champions League football, and then we'll concede a sloppy goal to make it 2-1, and then for like the last 10 minutes, we're going to be absolutely bricking it. It's typical. Then you're going to see like 8 minutes at a time. You're thinking, oh my God, it's going to be one of those type of games when I could just see it already.
I don't
Honest
want
to
that,
God.
Daniel, man.
No, I honestly think the same. But I think we need to remember is if we are 2-1 up, hypothetically speaking, it's like aggregated. They need to score 2 in it to take us out of the Champions League. So even if we're 2-1 for the last 20 minutes,
if we was to draw last minute, we're still there. So yeah.
Oh yeah, obviously if they're putting long balls into the box, I'm going to be bricking it with Morgan running onto them. Akil said obviously Ali's best mate, Fosuman's the left back and all that. Akil said team scoring first will win. I can't see United coming back, and I completely agree. I think it just honestly, and it's such a cliche thing to say, but this first goal might just determine the game for me because I think both teams are going to be bricking. Now we're talking about from a Man United's perspective, but we've got to remember Leicester are in the worst form that you can possibly imagine. They got slapped by Spurs. I know they played all right in that game, but they still lost 3-0. Do you know what I mean? And they've lost half their team. Literally, isn't playing. Half their first team isn't playing as well. So they're going to be even worse situation than us because they have to win. We just need to play draw. We've got another score prediction here from those of us in the chat saying 1-1. Ali, will come to you. Everyone's just, these are going to be nervous games if these score predictions are right. What everyone's saying here, man. Bloody hell. Ali, what do you reckon?
I reckon it'll be 1-0. I reckon we'll nick it 1-0. I reckon we're going to get harassed completely. It's going to be very, very, very scary. But I don't care. I don't care who scores. I don't care if it's an own goal. Just get the win. Just get us over the line. The ambulance ready. The guy's spot on.
Yeah.
Get the ambulance ready because I mean, even the West Ham game, those last sort of 5-10 minutes, I haven't been that sort of itchy for a goal for ages. And I was sitting there, 1 minute like this, next minute like that. I was standing up. I changed seats. I was like, I've got a bottle of water. I was like, what can I do to influence it from my Sky TV to get us a goal and whatnot? And but I reckon even at I think 2-0 and then they nick one. Oh, it's just going to be nervous. But like I said, we'll have one eye on the Wolves game for sure. I think it's natural to sort of flick over and see what's going on. But just get our business done.
In the corner, if you scored,
oh yeah, I know exactly. It's gonna. I guarantee it's gonna say Giroud or Pulisic's name tomorrow.
But you know what? The one
100%.
thing that annoys me the most is what keeps coming up is, oh, we've been unbeaten, we've gone unbeaten, etc.
Oh my God!
You can just see it. You can just see it coming up. Them saying, "Oh, you went unbeaten all this time, and the one game you lost."
Another thing that'll come up as well. Another thing that'll come up as well. We bought Maguire from Leicester. What if they get Champions League over us? The banner. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that.
Bro, I've already
Maguire, score a goal, please.
I'm deleting WhatsApp, bro. I'm deleting it. We've got a few more comments. Akil said 1-1 and Chelsea to lose. Werner and Ziyech in the Europa League. Bloody hell, Akil, you're flipping ambitious, aren't you? Fair play to you. I respect it. He's on whatever VAR he's on prior to the game. I've actually said the exact same thing as you, Ali. Word for word, almost actually. It's a bit scary. I said 1-0 as well, and I don't give a shit if it comes up Maguire's arse, his head, whoever's own goal. Johnny Evans' own goal would be beautiful. I would love that. I would love that. I know he's in red. He helped us out by slipping. I don't even remember what team it might be in Arsenal, but he set us up for one there. But results, the lads are gonna love this one.
Oh jeez.
4-0 FC by Rizal tomorrow. Rizal, if that happens, man, I'll shave my beard. No, I'm joking.
At 4-0, I'm pulling out a mojito. I'm getting the shisha pipe out. I'm gonna be relaxed at 4-0. But
I'm gonna be. If it's 4-0,
over to the Chelsea game now.
Yeah, 100%. Legit, man. 100%. I'll be buzzing for that. But anyways, boys, thank you very much for your time. Honest to God, I genuinely do appreciate it. As always, make sure you check out the socials for the guys. Die in the description. I believe Daniel's also got a YouTube channel, so check him out. He's an absolute baller. I call him Daniel Van Greenwood, innit? Right foot, left foot, don't matter. so check out those clips. Greenwood's obviously watching him, so you know it is. But yeah, show the boys love on socials, man. Thank you very much for your time. The fan cards will be out tomorrow. Boys, let me know as well if you want to come on for fan card. Obviously, if you lose, I'm assuming you're not going to.
Yeah, sure.
Everyone's messaging me saying, "Yo, if we lose, I ain't coming on." No, Frank, I ain't showing my face. Nothing.
I'll come on for sure. I'll show face, man.
I'll come on and vent.
That's calm. Okay, we've got two last comments. Benji's gone 3-1, and we've got another guy. that's put 5-0 Manchester United. I'll take whatever he's smoking, so that's calm.
That's a Kill's friend for sure. Definitely a
Oh,
Kill's
is it? There you go. Isn't it? Obviously, the bachelors, I'm assuming. But if it's 5, well, I don't even think about 5. I'll take 1-0 every day of the week. But anyways, boys, thank you very much for your time. As always, drop a like, subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow, like I said, with the fan cams. Check them out. I'm going to do a live watch along as well, so I'll probably be swearing in that one if you lose, so I enjoyed that one. But anyways, apart from that, it's been your boy, Usmaan. Go United! Come on,
boys. Come on.